Hello everybody, we're back. And now we finished the slideshow that we were doing about the monsters of Monster Island. Now as you will soon see in the slideshow, I did transitions for the slides and animations for the pictures so that they can enter. So to do the animations, you just click on the picture that you want to animate, and you go to animations right here. So say you click on this one, and then you want it, and then you can choose which one you want. You can go down. You can go to more entrance effects to look at more effects that you can do. So for this one, we're going to do the boomerang because that's pretty cool. Okay, and for the transitions, you just the slide's already selected, and for the transitions, you just go to the transitions tab, and then you click on the one that you want it to be. See, there's one, but this is the one that we chose. Okay, so now we're going to show you how we the whole slideshow, but we don't have to read it to you.
You gotta read it.
And see, you can, if you choose all the animations for the pictures, that's how they'll come inside. That's how they'll appear on the slideshow. So we have a lot of monsters on here. Now is the transition that we chose. This is about Godzilla. And you can put whatever you want on these slides, whatever pictures. You can do anything you want. But this one we did one about monsters. Now we're moving on to Mothra, and Mothra, it says Mothra can and this is the picture that we chose for that for Mothra. Oh yeah, and that's the transition that we chose also. It's called the honeycomb. King Ghidorah. This is one we made for King Ghidorah. I think that one's blowing up a gas station. Now that transition is called, I think it's called glitter. Yeah, I think it's called glitter because it looks like glitter. Rodan. This one is for Rodan, and that's the picture that we chose for it. Because he's making a tornado with his wings. You can see it there. Gorosaurus. For Gorosaurus, we chose this one because it's black. Because it's black and white for Gorosaurus, makes it cooler. And that's the transition. And this is Minya. So Minya is Godzilla's adopted son, and he can do nuclear rings that go around his opponent's head to knock them out. But he can also do fire breath, but he's still too young to do it on his own. And Kumonga is just a giant tarantula or spider, yeah, that can shoot like really strong silk. And that animation, I think it's called Swivel. This transition is called the Cube. Now this one's about Titanosaurus, and he's just a giant seahorse. Anguirus. Anguirus is our favorite monster because he's really cool. And he's just standing there, but he's just a giant ankylosaurus. And this one, he's flying. He's in a ball flying at Godzilla when they were battling. So he can roll into a ball and launch himself. And that transition was called the Ripple. Now this slide is about Gamera. He's a turtle from space. And as you can see here, his power is to gather energy and power from space, and then he can launch it at his opponent. So he's gathering energy here, and then he's about to launch it at his opponent there. We saw a really cool video on YouTube when he was battling Godzilla. And that one is called, what was it? And that transition was called Shred. Now this one's about King Caesar. We have a dog. He's a white boxer, and we call him King Caesar, even though he looks nothing like him. So that's King Caesar. and that's also King Caesar. One of King Caesar's powers is to if like a monster shoots something into his eye, he absorbs it, but then he backfires it at them. So he shoots it back at them through the other eye. Now this one is about Zilla. I don't really know much about Zilla, but my brother does. This is a picture for Zilla. One of Zilla's powers is he can shoot rays or nuclear rays through his mouth. And in the picture, he's not doing it. He's just stepping on a bunch of cars and buildings. Okay, here's Baragon, and here's the picture I chose for Baragon. And one of Baragon's powers is to he can bite something really hard, and then he can use his powers to burn it, so that whenever he bites something, it'll get really hot. And he did that to Angus in a battle one time, even though he still lost the battle. Okay, this one is Gabera, a giant lobster, and that's his picture. He really doesn't have any special powers. I guess he's just like really strong, and he can pinch hard with his pincers. Alright, this one is Ultraman. Alright, so I forgot to tell you, but to go to the next slide, you just press on the space bar. So this is the Ultraman one, and then to make the picture show up, you just click the space bar. That's how we did it. And also to go to the next slide, you also click the space bar. This is about Space Godzilla, and that one is that animation I think is called like the shape, the circle one. So it comes in looking like a circle. And this one's about Mecha Godzilla. And he has a really cool power called Absolute Zero. So then it's like really, really strong. So then he shoots it at other monsters and it freezes them, and then he whacks his tail on the ground and then like turns them to bits. He did it on like buildings and stuff. So then this one was called the animation was called Random Bars. This is about Manda, a giant snake. And that animation was Float Up. And this one's about King Kong, which I think most of you should know, would already know about. He's a giant ape. And this transition is called Bounce, I think. Bounce. Now that transition was Blinds. This one is Mecha King Ghidorah, another monster. He was since there's a Mecha Godzilla, there's also a Mecha King Ghidorah. So, and he defeated King Ghidorah in a battle because he's a lot bigger and stronger and has more powers. And he's part regular King Ghidorah and part robot. And that animation was called Checkerboard. That's Checkerboard. This one is one of our final monsters, Gigan. Gigan's powers is Gigan. This is the picture I chose for him. That I think the animation for that one, when the picture appeared, I think it was just like a random thing. Now this is the ending page. We just wrote a little about how we didn't list all the monsters in. Otherwise, it would be super duper long. The end.